Now, as I already mentioned, conversion on the reels matters as much as everything we've talked about so far matters, right? Because as all of you know, we've all had these reels. Listen, I can share this case study right here because the trend is already that. And I would say if we kind of trend of CCTV videos, we bought a bunch of security cameras and put them into our creators' apartments when there was a filming day, obviously. And we kind of did these videos that looked like CCTV footage with a Snapchat text over it, like, I just wanted to pick up the food. And then it caught the creator, quote unquote, doing something sexual, something awkward happening. And these videos got a fuck ton of views. I think in the first week of doing this across the agency, we must have generated like 200 million views or something like that. Again, across all models, reposting it every single day. So we had videos with 50 million views, 10 million views, 5 million views, whatever it is. But the conversion was ass, because if you get a bunch of fucking views, but you get no conversion, this is where the issue happens, right? So our structure with this type of content wasn't optimal, because the content, to be fair, wasn't made for a personal brand. There was no clear USP. People didn't understand that this was actually the creator. They thought it was just a meme page. Just getting enough views work as a KPI. I know agencies that make 10K views per video max, and they make more money than agencies that do like 200K views per video, because the conversion is everything, right? So your structure determines if they visit the profile and if they have enough motivation, and if you build up enough brand equity to actually make them convert. Brand equity is a word that I would write down in this current second, because all your reels do is kind of, you know, in video games when your character has like an ultimate characteristic, like if your ultimate strength goes to 100%, you can do like a special attack and you have to fill it up. This is what your reels do. So if your reels fill up the subscribers' brand equity kind of thing, he's at 100%, and he's going to spend 20% effort to click on the profile. He will only do this if you entertained him enough, if you made him fall in love enough. Okay, clicking the link on the profile, another 20%. Then reading through the OnlyFans bio, another 20%, and actually spending money or clicking a button to subscribe is another 40%. And max after watching a video, they're never going to convert. Just to kind of put it into something to understand, if that makes sense. So to understand that, let's look very quickly at the marketing bridge, right? We have our hook, we have the middle of the video, and we have the CTA in terms of converting people to subscribers, right? So when you want to convert someone, this is the bridge that you have. And the most important thing here is for the hook, obviously, we want to get people to stop scrolling, interrupt the pattern, and create like an wow moment. Someone has to watch the first second of your reel and think like, what the fuck? You know, this is the thing. Instagram and overall short form content works over extremism. You have to do something extreme. People have to be like, what the fuck? You have to interrupt their scrolling behavior. You know, that type of stuff. For example, if I would be, let's say, playing Clash Royale right now, and you would try to get me to stop playing, right? You're sending me a message. I'm currently in a Clash Royale match, which I take very seriously. You need to send me a message to actually make me close Clash Royale, go on your chat. If you just text me like, hey bro, how you doing? All right, I'll answer later. But if you text me, bro, you're never gonna believe what happened. And then, okay, I'm like, fuck, I'll answer. I'll have to read the message, whatever it is. So you have to create a wait what moment and get people to stop scrolling, interrupt the pattern. That could be, for example, I did not know this was possible, or like a super weird visual movement, something opening while the video happens, something that people need an explanation for later on. For example, someone just said, Amit, you're a real G. Someone texted me that exact text. That's actually fucking hilarious. Now, if you can either have, for example, a text saying, I didn't know this was possible, or you can start the video in a super weird angle, and then the video normalizes because the brain thinks like, I'm not used to this. What the fuck is happening? I think that makes sense. Now, for the middle in the video, obviously, you have to kind of deliver on the hook's promise, aka if you worked with something unusual, you have to make it make sense, right? If you say, I don't know, like, you will never believe what happened, then you will have to say, what happened? You have to kind of reward them. If you scam people, really deliver on the hook's promise, they're just going to scroll away and not like it. This is, in fact, why most YouTubers drop off, because this is why clickbait doesn't work. Because if you get people to clickbait, you get a bunch of new audience, but they never stick around. So you never have a loyal audience. I think that makes sense. So don't be clickbaity, actually deliver. Now, the middle obviously builds the emotional connection, makes them entertained, makes them understand the creator, makes them kind of more hooked to the creator itself, herself, right? They now feel like they know the creator and they remember her, will watch more videos of her, and obviously get them to not scroll away. Because the second the hook is over, you're in a competitive match against scrolling away. They just have to move their thumb a bit and they see more entertainment. So you have to be more entertaining than the idea of watching the next video, right? Now I will tell you this here, as you see in the slide, watch time is the algorithm factor. So the more watch time you have, the better. This is why engagement is so important, because most people think comments on the video is also going to rank them different. Comments matter, don't get me wrong, but someone scrolling through the comments or writing his own comment, that is all watch time. So the reason we do engagement baiting is not only to get comments, it's also to get people to stay on the video even longer, because watch time is what Instagram ranks the most, right? This is what they love, because you keep people on the platform. Now, for the CTA in the ending, you don't have this in every video, but you want to have a certain call to action. Now, you have to be a bit creative with this, because if you just say, I like a fucking YouTuber, like, hey, check out the link in my bio, that doesn't work for 95% of videos, right? So obviously, make it make sense. What we split tested is the certain CTAs. I'll just give you a few examples. For example, and by the way, like, please stop commenting about my last video. I have nothing to say about you. I have nothing to say about that. I will probably take it down. You can end the video like this. Now, does it look a bit scammy? Fuck yeah. But there's going to be a super big increase of people checking out your profile, seeing the link. Or, and by the way, like, I will delete the last thing I posted. Or, and yes, this is exactly what I was talking about in my last story. Or, yes, yes, you will find an example for this in my story highlights, but I'm not going to say more. This is the type of CTAs you can use. Just shout out something on your profile, make them click on it. So these type of CTAs, if this is more of like a potential fix to your problem and something you should do actively, but if you get a fuck ton of views and your conversion sucks ass, after optimizing everything I've said so far, this is going to be the easiest way to get people to subscribe, especially when you have a big account. You work with influencers that have a couple of million followers, that have a couple of 100,000 followers even. Doing this type of shit makes you actually use the audience that you have, because we work with, I think, over 40 or 50 influencers at that time. And most of them have hundreds of thousands of potential subscribers. They never actually converted, because most people just follow the account and never check it out.